So I was talking to Emily a few minutes ago when we first got started, and I was wondering, what are you doing now that's different than what you normally do on, what is today, Wednesday? Em, what's different? Emily, what's different today than normal?
Yes, and simply
What?
Playing with Legos.
Playing with Legos. What about you, Sabrina? What's different today?
Legos too.
Legos. What about Owen? What's different today than before, than normally on a Wednesday?
It's April 1st.
It's April 1st. And what do we call April 1st?
April Fool's Day.
Yeah, April Fool's Day.
And
Yeah,
Palm
but you
Sunday.
know what? We're really getting fooled this year, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not in school. We have to stay home. There's no sports practices or music lessons or what else? Gymnastics or dance. None of that's happening. So we're all staying home and we're staying pretty much just with our family. And you know, I was thinking about this story in the Bible that's getting ready to come to the time that it would have happened in Jesus's day, because it takes place between Palm Sunday, this Sunday is Palm Sunday, and Easter Sunday. And you know, the people in Jesus's day that were the church people that were in charge of the church, they weren't real happy with Jesus. They really were like, what's this guy trying to do? He wants to take over and we don't want him to take over our church. And so they decided they would bring him in and they would try to trick him with a question. And has anybody ever tried to trick you with a question? Like
Yes.
a riddle?
Yes.
And you don't know the answer?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they tried to do with Jesus. They tried to trick Jesus, and they said to Jesus, hey, Jesus, tell us what's the number one commandment? Well, we know there were 10 commandments, and so they were trying to get Jesus to pick just one. And if he picked one, then they could say, oh, you're really wrong because there's more than one commandment. And they would really get upset with Jesus and probably then give him a lot of trouble. So they said to Jesus, okay, which commandment is the greatest commandment, the most special commandment? And old Jesus, he was pretty smart. And he sat there a minute and he said to them, the greatest commandment is to love God with all of your heart, all of your mind, and all of your soul. And they said, I guess that's true because that's part of our church. That's what we practice. And then Jesus says, but I got another one. And they thought, aha. And he said, you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. So he's saying, treat other people the way you want to be treated. So I was wondering, in this time when we can't be together, when we can't all come to church together, when we can't be with our family and our friends, just our family that lives at home with us, what are ways that we can love one another? How can we do what Jesus asks us to do? What are some ways? Em, you got one? How can you love your neighbor if you can't go see your neighbor?
Miss him?
Yeah, so what are some ways we can show our love for our neighbors without going close to them?
You could send them a letter.
You could send them a letter.
You can call
That's a
them.
great idea. Sabrina, you got one?
You can wave them to the.
You
the
can
window?
wave like I just waved at my neighbors that went by.
Yeah.
Holden, Riker,
Send them or
You can
something.
call them if you have their phone number.
you could call them if you have their phone number. What else?
Maybe get them something.
Yeah. So what happens if we do this? If I do this, what does that show you? What can you do for them?
Pray for them?
Pray
Pray
for them. Pray for them. Absolutely. You could make a sign and put it in your window, maybe. And I think Emily's a good idea. Write a letter, send a note, and certainly.
Do a Zoom call.
What, Owen?
Do a Zoom call.
Do a Zoom call. Do church chat with other people. Have you
No,
done that with your
no.
family yet?
We have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll bet, did you do it with Grandma and Grandpa?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll bet they were glad to see you for sure.
I've done
It's really hard when you can't be together, and especially when you're there a lot, right? That is really hard. What are some other things we can do? Think about what you can do at your house. What do all the people tell us we have to do all the time?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
And stay.
Wash your hands. That is a biggie.
Away from people.
That's right. That's a great one.
Party?
Owen. What?
A party? Party time?
Yeah, so you wash your hands, maybe wipe off doorknobs for mom or dad to keep the doorknobs clean.
Good choice.
You can clean, you can wipe off things. Wash your hands is a big one. So here's what somebody told me, that if you wash your hands and sing, Jesus loves me, it'll be the right amount of time
Okay.
to wash your hands. So wash your hands, sing Jesus loves me, and you're in good shape. Your hands will be good and clean. So here's the thing. I think for you all, the best thing you can do is pray for people and do one of those other ideas that we had tonight. And when you do it, the next time we meet, which will be when? Sunday, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When we meet on Sunday, I want to hear what you did to love your neighbor as yourself, even though loving them means to stay away from them.
Remember we did that volcano thing?
I do remember when we did that volcano thing.
Oh,
That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's say a prayer, and then I'm gonna ask one more thing of you. So let's say a prayer together.
Okay.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah, I can do.
Okay, I'm gonna say a line and then you all say the line, okay? We're gonna do like an echo. Here we go. Dear God,
Dear God.
be with us in this time.
Thank you for your
In this time,
We ask that you take care of the people
Yeah.
that
for you
take care of the people
who are sick,
who are
Or
sick
sick.
are lonely,
or lonely.
are all by themselves.
or all by themselves.
Thank you for the helpers
Thank you for the helpers
Thank you for the helpers
who are working hard
who are working
who are
hard
working hard
to keep everyone safe.
to keep everyone
safe.
Thank you for our family.
Thank you for our family.
who keep us safe.
To keep us safe.
Safe.
And together we all say,
And we all
Amen.
We all say.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, so I have one more thing. One more quick thing. So Sunday is Palm Sunday. And if you remember Palm Sunday at St. Lucas, what do we normally do?
Wave
Do you remember? What do we have in our hands when we wave them?
branches.
We have
Yeah.
palms, right? We wave those palms. Well, we can't be together.
branches.
We can't be together this year to wave our palms. But here's what I'd like you to do.
Do
I
it
would
at
like
home.
you to make a palm, go out in your yard and get a branch of something that might be blooming, whatever. And I want you to put it up in the air and have your whole family there and take a picture. And you're going to send it to Megan. See Miss Megan right there?
Yeah.
You're going to send it to Miss Megan. Have mom or dad email it to Miss Megan at church. And then we're going to put them all together and make a slideshow so it looks like we have a parade going on Sunday morning for Palm Sunday.
Oh, cool.
So you need to go take a picture of all of you together or a couple of you together and then email it to Megan right there. And we'll put them all together and we'll look like we're having a parade even though we're all way far apart. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do church chat, Sabrina.
Yep.
We'll do it again on Sunday, Megan, 11 o'clock.
Yep, that's good.
At 11 o'clock. And you're gonna tell me before, when we start on Sunday, you're gonna tell me what you did to love your neighbor, even though you're apart from your neighbor. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Love you all. See you on Sunday.
Tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye.
Owen. Bye, Em. Bye,
Bye.
See you
Miles. Bye,
tomorrow.
Elizabeth. Bye, Holden. Bye, Sabrina.
Bye.
See you all.
Donuts.
Bye.
Here we go.